What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with an unboxing video. The mailman just arrived, and as I promised in my last video, I wanted to show you a couple of Holy Grail items that I've added to my collection. I never thought I'd own them, but one of them did arrive last week, and I'm sorry, I'm just so excited. I haven't opened the second one yet, it just got here. But anyway, one of them did arrive last week, and I wanted to wait to show it to you, to unbox, to show it and unbox it with the other one. Because they're related items. There's two of them, and I never thought I'd own these items, but some very generous sellers were able to work with me on the price, and I want to make sure to thank them, which I'll do in a second. But so I got one already opened, so I'm going to show it to you. And the second one I haven't even looked at yet, so we're going to be seeing it together for the first time. So anyway, this item arrived last week, and it's pretty amazing. I'm very excited to add it to my collection. Well, I added a double telescoping Luke Farm Boy to my collection. I'm very, very excited about it. I wanted to make sure to say thank you to Jeremy, who was the seller, and he says he does watch the channel. He actually knew it was me when I was buying it, so thank you, Jeremy, for working with me on price and shipping and all that good stuff that we talked about. So thank you very much. This is a great figure. Very, very excited to have him. And so it's a double telescoping Luke. For those who are new to I mean, obviously longtime collectors know what they're looking at. This is a holy grail among collectors, most collectors. But for those of you who are not familiar, basically, I'm going to pull off just one of my other farm boys. Basically, the very, very early Luke Skywalker farm boys, as well as Kenobi and Vader, but those are much more rare, have this double telescoping filament. So you got the normal saber that telescopes out of his arm, and then the small filament also telescopes. They were only available on the very, very early card backs, as well as in the early bird mail-away kit. And they were quickly replaced just because it was a lot cheaper and easier, and these filaments tend to break because they're very fragile. But so here's what the typical farm boy filament looks like. That does not extend out. This one extends out from inside the saber, the hollow saber. So it's a very rare item, and I never thought I'd own one, but this is one I did add. And let's take a look at the grading label. This is a 1977 Kenner Star Wars loose action figure. It's Hong Kong, and all of the early bird farm boys were Hong Kongs, and I'll talk more about that in a second. This is a Luke Skywalker telescoping saber, and it came back with an 80 near mint. I looked at a bunch of 85s because I do tend to, you guys know I'm OCD. I do tend to collect 85s, but the difference in price to go from an 80 to an 85 is ridiculous. It's like double the price, if not more. Just because it's very difficult to get these in an 85 grade. So I just couldn't justify getting an 85 double telescoping Luke with so many other cool items that are out there, and you're going to find out why in a second. But anyway, this is a comparison. I think just looking closer at the figure that Jeremy was kind enough to sell me, the torso has a little bit of yellowing. It's very slight, but it's a little bit of yellowing on the torso versus some of these others in the background and this one next to it. But that's the only thing I can think of, because the rest of the figures, paint and face, the eyebrows are all intact. I'm trying to get to focus. There we go. Eyebrows are intact. I mean, it's just a beautiful figure. The paint is excellent. I mean, I've seen some 85 grade Lukes that are in worse shape than this one, and to me, this was a better deal, a much better transaction. I mean, the back of it's in gorgeous shape. So let's take a look at this is what I wanted to talk about briefly here. As you can kind of see through the casing, this is a 2-line Hong Kong COO and date stamp. The early bird Lukes were all 2-line COOs. Now, in terms of figures that also came on the card with this double telescoping saber, they also did come with a certain 3-line COO. But most of them, the vast majority of the Lukes were 2-line COOs. And I'll take just one more. I kind of glossed over that, but there's only a certain 2-line though. Ah, come on, camera. camera. Please focus, for God's sakes. There we go. So it's got the large copyright C, and it's kind of crunched up against the FGI 1977 Hong Kong. So there's a smaller copyright C that does not go with this figure, or with this saber. But I did find a really great kind of still shot that shows the different COOs for these Lukes and which ones AFA considers okay to put with this saber. They're mainly, like I said, mainly two-line Hong Kongs like this one. These came in the SWA bags, like in the early bird kits, the SWA labeled bags, as well as on some card backs. The 3 lines, I believe, only came on the card backs. I'm only going on what I read online. So, but there's the saber. It's just a beautiful figure. It's truly a holy grail for my collection, and I'm really excited to have it. Now, one other thing before I forget. The sabers also, the double telescoping sabers also have variants. So this is a lettered hilt, and I haven't checked to see what letter it is yet, so maybe we can do that together. I'm not sure if it'll show or which side it's on, but let's see. Yeah, there's the letters. I don't know if we can get that to focus enough or not, but it looks like a, let's see. Well, it looks like 2 letters, but I should have done that ahead of time, but I didn't do it. So, but this is a lettered saber hilt with the double telescoping filament. The other less common is the circles variant of the double telescoping saber, where there are 3 or 4 dots that go down the saber. That is much more desirable, I guess. This is the more common of the 2 with the lettered hilt. But there is a variant. So sometimes you'll see sellers say circles variant. Well, that's what it's referring to. Is there's 3 little dots that go down the main tube of the saber. So that's that. Just an awesome figure. Here is the CIB from AFA, or Collectors Investment Brokerage. They provide one of these for any of these high-end items. And this is the one for this figure. It was graded in April of this year, so it's a recent grade. 80 near mint telescoping saber. And Tom Derby is the gentleman who graded this one. And Tom Derby is one of the most respected Star Wars graders and authenticators out there. So I feel pretty good that this guy's legit. The other interesting thing is that you can see that the pant color, it's a lot lighter than really any of the other ones in my collection. But it's super bright, super bright. So, that's another interesting thing. So this is truly a very early bird kind of Luke, and just an awesome piece. I'm really happy to have it in my collection. Okay, so that's one. Now, we did get a second item in today that is related but somewhat different, and so I am going, while you're looking at this beautiful Luke, I am going to get this unboxed and see what we got. I hope it made it here safely. That's all I gotta say, because I have not opened it yet. So let's take a look. Bear with me here. And I wanted to make sure to say thank you to Paul. I never would have been able to get this second item, without Paul agreeing to a payment plan. So we agreed to a payment plan, and I want to make sure that, I don't know if he watches my channel or not, probably not, but I want to make sure to say thank you to him because he agreed to a payment plan for me, and I'm really appreciative of that. And he's a great guy and very communicative. He's got just an absolutely amazing collection. And here we are. Interesting, really interesting. Huh. Well, this is really cool. I'm going to take it out of the poly bag. This is the second of the 2 Holy Grails, and I'm excited to show it to you. So here we go, guys. This is another double telescoping Luke, believe it or not. I went off the deep end, folks. All right, I got a second double telescoping Luke. The interesting thing is it's a totally different mold than the other one. So they're both 2-line Hong Kongs, but when I was buying this, I was convinced that it had a different face mold. And it is. It's a totally different face mold. If you look at the 2 faces there, the one I just showed you is on the right is a much wider face. The one on the left, I think they tend to call it the mascara Luke, or running mascara Luke, because his eyes have, the deep kind of running mascara look to it. But they are both Hong Kongs, but very different face sculpts. And you're like, why, John? Why in the heck did you get a second Delta? And actually, the leg colors are different too. This leg color is a little bit different, or a little bit darker, I should say. Now, I know what you're going to ask is like, why on earth did you get two? Well, I got on a payment plan for this one as well. Let's go ahead and show you this. This is a Luke Skywalker HK telescoping saber 80 near mint. It does have the 80 archival case in fantastic shape. This one doesn't have nearly as much yellowing as the one that I bought. This one is a little bit more yellowed on the torso. This one doesn't really have much yellowing, but it does have some marks on the back that hurt the score. So you can kind of see there some marks there. There was a couple other spots, yeah, right here on the back of the leg there. So that's probably why I got the 80. The arms are hanging a little bit differently there, and I'm going to explain why in a second. But very cool. I'm excited by the I wasn't sure if it was going to have the different face sculpt, but the fact that I've got double telescoping sabers with two different face sculpts is just amazing to me. I love it. But this is, these are both two-line COO early bird Lukes. Now, I'm going to show you, the reason I bought this one is because of the notes in the CIB. So here's the CIB for this one. This one was graded in February of 2019. This one also got the 80 near mint. It's an HK Luke telescoping saber. Now, the additional notes is what's interesting about this. This Luke was found and purchased from an ex-Kenner employee, and it was found and purchased with a group of early engineering prototypes. So, what the notes mention is this. It says, figure verified from Kenner employee, whose items included marked engineering prototypes and unmarked loose examples with matching characteristics. The double telescoping saber was added later. Well, what does all that mean? The bottom line, and this is based on my conversations with the seller, but the bottom line is this was found with a bunch of other Luke farm boys that were engineering prototypes. Now, when Kenner employees had engineering prototypes, they typically marked the bottom of the foot with a marker, like a true marker, and numbered them. So there might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10, 12, whatever. But they would mark them on the bottom, noting that they are engineering prototypes. This one was found with a number of those figures, but it didn't have the mark. And so that's the only way I'm able to afford this, folks. Because if someone, I'm assuming that the engineer just forgot to mark it or whatever. But it was found with, a group of engineering prototype Lukes. This one just happened to not have the mark on it, but it had the exact same molding characteristics and blah, blah, blah. So that's what the notes are meaning there. Now, if it had the mark, the number on the bottom of the foot, there's no way I could have afforded this figure. No way. It would have sold for probably, I'm guesstimating here, but I'm guessing it would sell for 10 times what I paid for this one. So, to me, it was a cool story. It was very affordable, for a double telescoping Luke. I mean, I'm not going to kid you that I went on a payment plan for a reason. But for a double telescoping Luke to have, these notes in the CIB verified by Tom Derby that it was found with engineering prototypes and unmarked loose examples with matching characteristics. I mean, that's gold to me. It's just kind of a cool story, and it's a different mold than the other one. So. Was it necessary to buy it? No, of course not. But it kind of fell into my lap off eBay through Facebook and contacts and so forth. And he was agreeing to a payment plan, so we did it. And I can't thank those guys enough, especially at the price that they sold these items to me for. So I just want to say thank you guys, because I think that you were very fair with the prices. So. But anyway, I'm really excited. Obviously my farm boy collection is just, it's kind of gotten out of control here, but it's just a really, really awesome example of each. We got a farm boy, just a typical early farm boy production figure, along with this one with kind of a different face mold and engineering prototype notes in the CIB. So. That's all I got, really. I'll include some close-ups of this at the end of this video. I'll include some close-ups, as well as that really great graphic I found that shows the different COOs for the Luke Farm Boys and which ones AFA recognizes as fitting with a double telescoping saber. So pretty epic, and I'm really, really just it's unbelievable that I've got these guys. So. This is my farm boy collection now. I think now for real this time, I'm not going to be getting any farm boys for a while. So this is kind of the cherry on the top for me, and I'm just, I'm really, really excited. So sorry to gush on. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.